I want you to imagine an interesting thing: improving by just 1% every single day. That sounds really tiny, puny, right? Almost meaningless, isn't it? But here's the math: getting 1% better daily means you will be 36, 37 times better by the end of the year. That's the magic of small, consistent actions. And in this video, I'll show you how to use the powerful ideas from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear to transform your life with real world example and actionable steps. This isn't just merely random nonsense bullshit theory. This is what actually works. The power of 1% better every day. When I was just getting started with my journey into self improvement, my journey into personal growth and everything, I used to think that progress meant going all in, working out 2 hours a day, reading 50 pages a night, and hustling non stop, like working 18 hours, 16 hours, or something like that. I thought that was what working hard was. I thought that was what improvement would look like. But guess what? I burned out every single time. I would just barely even work for like 4 hours in 16 hours, 16 waking hours. But when I finally shifted to 1% improvement plan, everything changed. I felt easy, sustainable, and more importantly, it worked. I genuinely started seeing the results. So I sat down and created basic laws, the fundamental laws that will work for me and for everyone, which will help basically all of them universally to make improvements. So before jumping into content, let's just discuss why small changes matter. We often think transformation requires massive efforts. We often think that if you want to do this, we have to take some massive effort. We have to like run 100 miles or 200 miles or lift a 10,000 kg or something like that. Dramatic life overhauls. But in reality, success is the result of small, consistent improvements over a long enough period of time. If you can sit down and journal for maybe 10 minutes every single day for 30 days, that is better than if you sit down and journal for 3 hours just one day in an entire month. So, the result of small consistent improvements over time is what success is. James Clear in his book Atomic Habits called this the 1% rule. So instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. One small step at a time. You don't need to make a long jump. Just one small step at a time. I still remember a few years ago I felt stuck. I'd set big goals every single year but barely make any sort of progress. And at the end of every single year, I would just sit there and think that okay, wasted another year. Then I stumbled across the idea of 1% improvement. I read the entire book, and instead of trying to wake up at 5 a.m. and work out for an hour, I started with 10 minutes. So instead of reading a book a week, I started to read just one page a day. It didn't feel like much at first, but within few months I noticed a shift. And that's when I realized small wins create big results. And as you go forward, it basically compounds interest and your capacity of doing the work increases. So basically when I was in the beginning phases, I used to work out for 10 minutes and then it gradually started increasing, and right now I work out for 45 minutes to an hour basically. And I sit down in a single sitting, I read maybe 30-40 pages, something like that, on a single sitting. So basically it compounds interest and your capacity increases as you improve yourself 1% by every single month or day, whatever that happens to be. So without any further discussions, let's just talk about the practical stuff. So law number 1, make it obvious. Want to build a habit? Start by making it impossible to ignore. For example, if you want to start working out, lay out your gym clothes at night before. If you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle within your reach all of the time. If you want to read this book, then maybe you're working on a laptop, maybe you're doing something else, just keep your book open on the desk whilst you're sitting on the desk. Maybe if you are laying down on your bed, just open up a book and put it down there. That makes it impossible to ignore. So you have to make it obvious. If you want to stick to a habit, if you want to make like some sort of progress into your game, you have to make things really obvious. Law number 2, Make it attractive. Pair your habit with something you enjoy. For example, listen to your favorite podcast while you're walking or treat yourself with a coffee after completing a morning routine. Say, for example, I'm allowed to scroll Instagram for 30 minutes if I complete this entire project in a week. Or maybe I'm allowed to scroll Instagram for 30 minutes if I read 20 pages of this book. Basically, stimulation is what feels rewarding. So we are attaching Instagram because our brain thinks that, okay, Instagram is stimulation and stimulation is rewarding. So basically it will just want to scroll Instagram for 30 minutes, and that's why I'll start to read 20 pages. When a habit feels rewarding, you are more likely to stick with it. Maybe you can attach a meal or something like that. So it basically depends upon you what you keep as the reward. Law number 3, make it easy. Simplify the habit as much as humanly possible. If you want to read, start with one paragraph. If you want to journal, start with one sentence. Just make it as easy as possible. I've already said this multiple times in multiple videos that you have to just start with the bare minimum. Start small, remove the friction. And that's where the habit becomes effortless. And it will compound the interest over time. Your capacity will increase, as I've already said. You have to just start. You have to just get started. Just read one page, one sentence, write one sentence. That's all that matters. Just get started with it. Law number 4, make it satisfying. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small progress you have made. You just opened your website and maybe written one paragraph. That's it. You made some progress, so celebrate it. Cross off days on the calendar when you complete the habit. So that is where you are creating in consistency. Like your mind can see the visual cue of consistency. Your mind can see that, okay, you have been working every single day, and that visual cue of consistency is working as the motivation to move you forward. And it will just make you stick with that particular thing for a long period of time. But I have seen an interesting thing in a lot of people, that the biggest mistake people make is trying to do too much too fast. So instead, focus on consistency over intensity. Remember, habit compounds. Missing one day won't ruin you, but consistency over time is what creates exponential growth. So you have to understand that you have to be consistent, not intense guy. You don't have to sit down and read an entire book in a week, but all you can do is consistently read for every single day. Complete a book a month. That is better than you just start to read a book a week and then you never even open up that book ever again because you felt that that's too overwhelming, and then 6 months passed, you never even opened that book. So before signing off, let me just give you a few ideas to get started with it. So let's say journaling. Write 50 words a day if you want to start journaling. And I would suggest you to start journaling right here, right now. Just do 50 words a day if you want to start journaling. Read one page of a book every single day if you want to develop a habit of reading. Take 5 minutes of walk if you want to start exercising. These small wins builds confidence, and confidence fuels action. So becoming 1% better every single day isn't just a simple nonsense concept. It's a life-changing philosophy. Imagine where you'll be at the end of 2025, the next year, if you start today. So take the first step and let me know in the comments what one habit you're working on. So if this video helped, subscribe, and if you like the video, put on a like. If you dislike the video, put on a dislike. And see you in the next one.